Introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Randy Skeete. I'm from Michigan in the United States, and my time is occupied with two things primarily. One, as a campus evangelist for the Michigan Public University Campus Program, and secondly, with worldwide evangelism. That's how my time is spent, with great joy.
Could you describe more about your ministry?
In Michigan, the ministry involves conducting revivals on campuses, doing Bible studies, weeks of prayers, training young people to be effective evangelists and missionaries on their campuses wherever they choose to go. And the other part of my ministry is traveling the world literally to conduct weeks of prayer, crusades, or evangelistic campaigns, all efforts designed to bring people to Jesus Christ.
So you mainly focus on the young people?
Well, I focus on the young people when I'm in Michigan. But when I travel, I focus on anyone who's willing to come, because the gospel is not for young people or old people. The gospel is for human beings. You cannot find a youth sermon in the Bible. You cannot find an old person sermon in the Bible. You cannot find a single sermon. You just find the gospel. And so the gospel properly preached appeals to all ages. It literally does.
Okay, so how long have you been doing this GYC?
I've been involved with GYC since GYC began in 2002. I was one of the speakers at the very first GYC in Southern California. And most of the sessions I have been a speaker. I missed a couple of them. So from the inception I have been with GYC, because GYC was begun, or the Lord used young people from the program in Michigan to set GYC off. So I have had a very delightful association with GYC, yes.
So what are those memorable experiences that you have?
The memorable experiences I've had with GYC are the impact that the sessions have had on people during those weekends. I've seen people's lives change dramatically, and also the effect that GYC has had on the world. As a result of GYC United States, we have similar associations springing up in Asia, Africa, Europe, South America. So it has had a worldwide impact, literally. And of course, this PYC meeting right here at AUP is evidence of the worldwide reach of GYC, and this is evidence of God working.
Okay, so how do you feel about that this GYC thing is already growing around the world?
Well, I am delighted and I'm also concerned. Because organizations, as they grow, they tend to lose the original zeal and fervor and very pointed mission for which they were brought into existence. I do not want to see that happen to GYC. They were raised up to energize young people to take the message in a very primitive, direct way. But as it grows, layers of organizations are added, and that can slow down and ultimately frustrate the original purpose. And I hope that does not happen to GYC.
So could you give us a little background about the purpose of having this GYC?
The purpose of GYC, as I said, is to energize young people. The young people in Michigan who were part of the campus program were not satisfied with the way young people were living their lives. They wanted young people to get up and to move and to take the gospel in a very direct, raw, primitive way, as I said. Because the early church in the days of the apostles, it wasn't highly organized, but they had a zeal, they had a passion, and they had a very clear message. Nothing confusing about their message. And so GYC was born to inspire young people to evangelize that way. And I do not want to see that die or watered down in any way for the sake of refined organization.
So what would be your message to those young people that will be listening, will be watching this?
My message is, number one, commit your life to Christ. No doubt about my number one message, commit your life to Christ. Two, understand this, the Word of God. Because it is pointless to take a message that you don't understand. You will do more harm than good. Number one, commit your life to Christ. Number two, know this. And number three, live the kind of life that inspires the other young people to follow your steps. Those are my three suggestions, and they come from the heart.
So how do you feel about your stay right here?
Oh, I love the Philippines. I have asked God to give me two areas of the world as my evangelistic heritage. Area number one, East and Southern Africa. I mean from Sudan, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, all the way down to South Africa, to the west, Angola, to the east, Mozambique, in the center, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Swaziland, those areas. And of course, Southeast Asia. Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, Korea, those places, Singapore, Brunei, those places, those two areas I've asked God, give me. And those are the two places where I go most often, so the Lord must be answering my prayer. I'm always delighted when I come to East and Southern Africa and Southeast Asia. And it's a tremendous privilege for me, and I thank God ceaselessly for the honor. So I love being in the Philippines. The heat I'm not crazy about, but I love the Philippines.
How about the food?
The food is fine. The food is fine. When you're hungry, anything is good. Wherever you are in the world, United States, north, south, east or west, a hungry man eats anything.
Okay.
But I'm enjoying myself in the Philippines. Yes, I am. And I'm so grateful for the awakening of the youth in the Philippines. It will have an effect throughout Southeast Asia. It really will. Everything doesn't have to come to the United States.
Yes.
Things can come from Southeast Asia. They can come from Eastern Europe. They can come from South America. They don't have to come from the United States or from Western culture. They can come from other parts of the world. And that is what I think will happen and is happening. And I thank God for that. And I thank God for you.
And one last question. What do you think about the message that Christ is coming soon?
Well, he is coming soon. Now, it is difficult for many people to believe that because Christians don't live as though he's coming soon. We're busy getting more degrees. We're busy getting more houses. We're busy having more children. We're busy we're busy doing all these things. And while we say he's coming soon, it is not what you say that really matters. It's what you do. You know, in Genesis chapter 26, I believe it is, when Isaac told Abimelech that Rebekah is my sister. And Abimelech saw him playing with Rebekah. And Abimelech said, she's not your sister, she's your wife. Now, Abimelech concluded correctly that was his wife based on what Isaac was doing. But what Isaac said was, she is my sister. So when Abimelech compared with what he said with what he did, Abimelech based his conclusion on what he did. And the conclusion was right. So it is not what you say. People talk very easily. Jesus complained, this people draw nigh unto me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. So we can say he's coming soon until we act as though he's coming soon. The world really won't believe. God needs people who will behave and live and make choices like the early church, the apostles, for whom the message was the most important thing, not their families and their jobs and their careers.
Okay, so thank you, Pastor.
My pleasure entirely. God bless you in your ministry.